My daughter is missing. She's not answering her phone. She's 8 months pregnant.
I did something horrible to this girl, took her baby, cleaned it up, hid the baby.
We were just as shocked as everybody else.
You see the baby. So I'm not so proud. One over for me. When you're saying it well, this is our baby.
He grabbed my hair and I pushed her. I grabbed, it was either a utility knife or a blade. And I did cut her. And I took her baby out of her.
My daughter is missing. The lady on third floor had came down and asked her if she would do like mannequin for tailoring. She's not answering her phone. She's 8 months pregnant. She's not answering her phone. She has not been on Facebook. Is she vulnerable or what? No, this is not like her at all.
22-year-old pregnant Savannah LaFontaine Graywind, her mother, Norberetta.
Immediately, my heart dropped. I knew something happened to my daughter.
Brooke Cruz.
Cruz answers the door and says, Savannah's not here. She left. Savannah's mother then got really concerned. She eventually calls the police.
Savannah's legs were like super swollen and she couldn't walk around very well.
Sparrow, please.
Hi. Sorry to bother you.
Oh my God, you're tall.
I try.
Hi, my name is Brooke. So what's going on? Yeah.
We're still looking.
Okay.
At this point, she hasn't shown up or anything like
I've
that.
been wanting to ask them.
Is it possible if we take a look in your bathroom?
Yeah. You can look anywhere.
He opened cupboards. He went into the closet in the bedroom, and there was nothing there that would have aroused suspicion.
We got busy chatting. Her dad came up and said that, mom wanted to see her or call her or whatever. And she didn't call. She got up and went out. And that's the last time I saw the girl.
They started to expand their search, and so now they're checking bus stations, nearby woods and riverbeds. She seemingly vanished without a trace.
There was some difficulty between the two of them at that point. They were having some stern conversations about things that he was doing with his life, where they were going to go together.
It's going to be a tough question to answer, but had she ever
slept with anyone?
Else?
Yeah, she did. We were talking about that one time Savannah slept with another guy because my brother's girlfriend hooked her up with that guy, and I was mad about that, and I was cussing at her. I was like, I hate you because you made her do that. Like, you hooked her up with another guy, and that other guy took advantage of her, or not necessarily because they both did it.
Do you remember any of it?
No.
What you would have talked about, or?
No, that was literally the last conversation in our text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because she's like, babe, you remember calling me last night? I said no with a laughing emoji, and she said, you're too much, I can't deal with you when you're drunk. Just talked, tried to get a reaction out of me, to make me do something. And one time she did, and pretty sure I told Kayla. It must have been a while ago they were arguing. This was like years ago, but not recently. Because this past year and a half, it's just been golden for me and her. It was our prime of our relationship where everything was going the way we wanted it to. Everything, we're having our first child. Our child was planned. We planned to have our child. She was having watching her little nephew. She started getting baby fever. I had never been the type of person that ever want a kid, and
Where were you at on Friday?
I was in Grand Forks. I was house sitting for my mom.
Okay.
They're checking for cell phone pings. Nothing. Was it possible that she had given birth, that she was rushed to the hospital, and then they didn't know where? It was a complete and utter mystery.
It's supposed to be a happy time for us. Looking forward to my first grandbaby. Now I don't know.
Coincidentally, William Hain was in a shopping mall parking lot. He backed into another car. There's surveillance video of him getting out and having a conversation with the other driver and then taking off. That gave the police a reason to stop, detain, and question him.
Smart enough to know that we're trying to figure out where Savannah is.
Totally get that, dude.
And you know where she is right now.
I don't know where Savannah is.
You know what happened to her.
I have no idea. She left our place shortly after her dad knocked. I didn't physically see her leave our place, but I mean, she wasn't there when I come out the fucking shower.
Was there any conversation then between you and Brooke about Savannah or Savannah's dad coming up, or?
No, I started to tell her about my day.
Okay. When that was, were you on your way out, on your way back?
No, I don't remember, like, I don't remember a good sequence of events for, like, everything that went down with the Gray Winds. Is like, I wasn't there when her dad came up, like, the next time, as I was up there when he came up there the first time, but I wasn't there when he came up there the second time, and I don't know exactly what he said, but I know he fucking pissed her the f*** off.
Yeah.
Like, she was going the fuck off about it, like, when I got back, I'm like...
On Monday, I told him congratulations, because he mentioned that his wife had the baby over the weekend.
The same weekend, Savannah Graywind went missing.
What did he say exactly?
Nothing, that it was a rough week. He didn't get much sleep because of the baby.
At that point, the cops were just shocked. We were all shocked.
So they're just like, what? What's going on? The police are examining the home, and as Detective Swan is in the bedroom, out of the corner of his eye, he detects some movement.
And lo and behold, on the bed, between some pillows, is a tiny baby girl.
Nobody went in thinking they were going to come out with a living infant. It was shocking.
Sounds good. All right. Well, sounds like but yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
That's why we're...
At first, appeared like she was trying to be the good Samaritan.
All I know is I was asked to take care of the baby for a short period of time, and that's what I've done. Above and beyond that, I probably should talk to her. And I, well, what's wrong? You shouldn't be crying. You should be really happy. And she was just sick of it. She felt like she was doing, pulling all the weight for the family and doing this and doing that, and wasn't with her boyfriend. Apparently, he had cheated on her, and a couple of times, I guess. And without going into any details, she just said that she was sick of it and wanted to get away. I basically told her how she could break her water and induce her labor and have her baby.
Okay. How would that help her get away?
Because then she could go. She didn't want the baby.
Okay.
She wanted to get away. Didn't tell me anything about anybody she was involved with. She kept it short and sweet. I gotta get the hell away from here. It was a mistake moving back in with my mom and dad. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this baby. I need to get away. And I offered to basically run distraction.
So you help her have the baby?
No, I didn't. She left. And then she came back Saturday, actually.
In William's second interview with the police, after they find the baby, things turn a little more dark.
The baby that's in your house, is that Savannah's baby?
No, I don't think so.
Whose baby is it?
I can tell you the truth.
Who's seen one?
The baby. So I'm not so proud. One over the floor now. With her saying it well. This is our baby, this is our thing. What did you say to her? What?
His head is bowed, he talks quiet. Will became more withdrawn, almost as we're caught and we're in big trouble here.
All you do is you show up from work one day and there's a baby there.
Yeah.
Does it seem odd to you?
Very. I've been under the impression for like months now that Brooke's been expecting. Was she really pregnant? I don't know.
So your girlfriend has a baby?
Yes.
Oh, happy day. She's cleaning up a big bloody mess when you get home from work. That baby has some injuries, well, I don't know.
I wonder if the baby's sort of vaginal. What you just told me makes no sense at all.
What I just told you is what happened. What do you guys think? I hurt this girl? I don't know what he's telling you.
So this was Will. I mean, that's what this comes down to if we're going to get down to brass tacks. How much did you do? How much did he do? Did you do it all together? That's what we're talking about here.
What?
Take that baby.
You think I took her baby?
I think you took her baby.
Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, sir.
What else am I supposed to feel?
I'm sorry that you feel that way, sir.
The story that you told is not believable.
I'm sorry it's not believable. Neither is your assertion that from 1:30 until 3:30, I did something horrible to this girl, took her baby, cleaned it up, hid the baby. What?
Where was Savannah when her dad came knocking
What
on
am I,
the door?
super freaking human?
Where was Savannah when her dad knocked on
You
your
know
door?
what? I could have sworn he looked and made eye contact with her.
Well, he didn't see her.
He looked right in my apartment, and you know what? Don't get me started on Grey Ones, because their story has changed a lot. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't. All I know is I was given that baby to take care of until sometime this week, and I did. Okay then. So why am I not being charged with anything?
Because we want to hear your side.
Why am I not free to leave?
We want to know where Savannah's at.
I don't know where Savannah is with all the bullshit that I just talked.
Brooke, they're going to find her blood in your goddamn apartment.
They're not going to find her blood in my goddamn apartment.
They're going to find her blood.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Will told us what happened. Yep. He told the whole damn story. He was sick. He was visibly sick, telling us what happened.
I did get out and
You told Will a lie that you were pregnant.
No, I
and you
was
saw
pregnant.
how happy it made him.
No,
You wanted to keep him around.
that's not true.
You thought he was going to leave you if
No.
you couldn't give him a baby.
No, that's not true.
You knew what you had to do.
I thought he was going to leave me if I couldn't give him a baby?
That's Will's perspective.
911, what's the address of your emergency? I'm on Red River in a kayak, and we have found what looks to be a body in a bay. It's duct tape. It kind of looked like head in the water, butt hung up in the air. It smells.
River in Fargo, North Dakota.
She was completely surrounded in plastic and duct tape, so you couldn't see her. It just seemed that the river would be a likely place to try to hide something.
The body was pulled out of the river at about 9:20. That body was identified as Savannah Greywind.
On her foot, there was a tattoo that said, "Too beautiful for this earth." It's our belief that the body probably was initially at the bottom of the river, and due to decompensation and the gases that a body produces is what maybe brought the body to the surface and started moving it down the river.
The couple was charged with conspiring to murder Savannah.
The state had never offered her anything but the maximum sentence. Part of her agreement was that she give us a debrief as to exactly what had happened.
I want to say no later than a week before Savannah went missing, so a week before the 19th of August. And it might not have even been a week. There was no baby, naturally, so he and I we had words. It wasn't really necessarily knockdown, drag out like we had previously. But I told him that I thought I might need to go to see a doctor because, my mind was starting, logically, if there was something going on. And so I knew that it was probably all in my head. And he said to me that you're just going to get there and they're going to tell you that you're not pregnant. And so this was the point when I realized that, okay, I'm not pregnant. So I desperately wanted a baby still. A couple days after that, he mentioned Savannah. He said that he saw her downstairs on his way up. I don't know where he was coming from, work or something. And that she was, in his words, very pregnant. And then that Saturday, I did go down and get her, and I asked her to come up. For reasons that I stated for the sewing. I told myself at the time, I'm justified because I was going to take her baby. That, I guess was the ultimate goal. We got into a scuffle. There was a scuffle. And she grabbed my hair, and I pushed her. And when I pushed her, she fell, and she hit her head, the back of her head on the sink.
And she landed right there. Like, that was where it happened, was on my bathroom floor. Like, her head was, like, right by the toilet, and her feet were at the door. And so I grabbed, it was either a utility knife or a blade, and I did cut her, and I took her baby out of her. And I wrapped the baby. But at some point, very shortly after that, Will tries to come in the bathroom door, but he can't get the door open because her feet are there. So he opens it a little bit, and he sticks his head in the door, and she's laying there. And he goes, what the fuck are you doing, or something like that. And he shut the door, and when he came back in, I moved her legs out of the way so he could get in. And when he came back in, he wasn't wearing any clothes, and he had a rope in his hand. And he put the thing around her neck, and he tied it. And he says, well, if she wasn't dead before, she is now.
Brooke was charged with 3 counts, a maximum life sentence without the possibility of parole for committing murder.
You just didn't see it. The baby was like right there. A little bit, like I didn't want to go out and spend money for a crib right away because I've been trying to get caught up on rent to make sure the electric don't get shut off. Sounds good. Yeah, baby. Where was the bed? Like in your bed? No, like right there in the bedroom on the stand. Just a little, like, she made a bed out of a suitcase is what we were going with. Like, I think it was a suitcase. Just like on a dresser or something like that. And that was going to be our baby bed. Sure.
Brooke tells us that after the murder, that they had put Savannah's body behind the tub. There's a little panel in the linen closet that you can remove.
And we put her in the bathroom closet. Shut the door. Then we got cleaned up.
Nothing was found in this bathroom, which is remarkable. It was an older bathroom. It was a bathroom that had tile. So one would think that if there had been blood in there, it would have seeped in and that it would have remained. But there was no indication of blood.
None of the luminol lit up. There had to be a very thorough clean job. And there wasn't a lot of time to do that because police were already up in the apartment.
By the third search, according to Brooke Cruz, they had already hollowed out a dresser and placed Savannah's remains in that dresser.
We put her into this dresser. He took the face off all the drawers, and then he nailed the face back onto the dresser itself.
Sure.
So that it looked
intact.
Yeah.
They showered there, they ate there, all the while with this woman either in a closet or in a dresser.
Yeah, and then when we put her in, we just lifted the hatch on the truck and tilted the dresser back, up against the bumper like, and then she just slid in. So
okay, I got it by the legs.
Yeah.
They have what's called a consensual encounter, and in those circumstances, they're only allowed to go as far as they can with the search as they give them consent to. It's not a big apartment. There are not many spaces that you could conceal someone like that, or she could even be. We were just as shocked as everybody else.
The medical examiner ultimately identified the wound on Savannah Grayman's body as a crude cesarean section. And ultimately there was a cut from hip to hip that invaded the lower torso, which is where the baby was then expelled and taken from her. Approximately 7 other small cuts in that same area of the body. We would probably refer to them as like hesitation marks, where she's trying to assess where to cut or maybe rethinking what she's doing. But it does indicate that there were other attempts made in the cutting of Savannah's abdomen.
Did you ever research how to do a C-section?
No, I mean, I saw it. I was obsessed with childbirth. I watched videos.
Never specifically C-section?
Right.
I think that she read about this and she had learned exactly where she needed to cut and how she needed to cut. We also found in the apartment books on things like anatomy and child rearing.
A lot of the searches that were stored on the phone shared between both William Hain and Brooke Cruz were very significant. How long can a baby survive when the mother dies? And can the baby die in a pregnant woman if she doesn't breathe for a few seconds?
And the reason that strangulation could not be ignored was specifically because there was a ligature around her neck. There was nothing found internally on the autopsy that would have indicated that she was strangled other than the fact that she had this ligature around her neck.
Forensics were telling us is the rope could have been used to keep her subdued. Someone has got to keep this blood flow restricted while this meticulous cutting process that doctors go to school for years and that the body remains still, that Savannah remains still, it really couldn't have been done by one person. There was really two that had to have committed this. These two would have conversations about very deviant behaviors, about sexual behaviors, about kidnapping women and having sex with them.
There's also some indication that they may have used ligatures like that in some play that they engaged in.
Like in a fantasy sort of way, like a fantasy sort of way?
Yeah.
Had you talked about doing things like cutting a baby out?
That and roofing a girl and killing her and all kinds of different things. His discussions with me regarding killing a girl got really bad, but I just kind of put it off to him drinking because he had a drinking problem. So I thought it would be okay. We could get away with something like this. And he felt the same way.
That to me that I better have a baby, and it didn't matter how I got it.
Before she went to, wait a minute, he had to have purchased the duct tape before because she was already in the dresser when you came up.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't take her back out after she was in the dresser. So he had to have purchased it either Saturday night or Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
And I do know that he purchased it at the Ace Hardware store.
William Hain had at least one other child he was convicted of abusing and hadn't seen that child since that child was a young infant.
I was 100% under the impression that Brooke and I were going to have a baby that was genetically, our baby was going to come out of Brooke's womb.
He knew I wasn't pregnant. I mean, he might have known like I did, like in my deluded state, that, you know, I wanted a baby so bad I had convinced myself I was pregnant.
We had images of her from various stores that she had gone to as recently as the day before Savannah Greywind went missing. It is clear to everybody that she is not pregnant.
Everybody wants to think that Brooke and I wanted to run away to the sunset with this baby, and that's not the case at all. Like, I had no part in any of the planning of this.
The question is, did he help murder Savannah?
He did purchase the tape that's consistent with the tape that was found wrapped around Savannah Greywind's body when they found her in the river.
He disposed of his bloody shoes, the towels that were used to clean up the blood. He was seen buying baby diapers at Walmart. And then, as if there's not enough drama that Savannah's family had to endure, still one last shocker.
We, the jury, do find the defendant, William Henry Hain, not guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
We have this wonderful video of the baby pointing to a picture of her mother and actually seems to recognize the picture.
Dude, mommy. I'm trying to make her first word, mama.
The baby was living evidence of an unspeakable crime.